Having more properties doesn't mean you're going to make more money. And having more properties does not make you more successful. On the contrary, it can take away from your income and create inefficiencies. Today, we're going to talk about my current real estate portfolio and how I went from 24 doors to 11 doors while making double of my rental income. Yes, you heard that right. I went from 24 doors generating $99,055.53 in a year to having 11 doors generating $203,310.48 in 1 year. Welcome to Rise, where we help immigrants and first-generation builders make smarter financial decisions and build real wealth in the US. Here, we break down real strategies and life experiences so you can apply them in today's market. For those who are brand new, I want to level the playing field. The term door refers to the number of units. So for example, if you have a single family home, that means one house, one door. But if you're talking about a property that has two families or two units, that becomes a duplex, and there's two doors. If you're talking about a triplex, we're talking about a property that has 3 units, 3 families, and that's the equivalent of 3 doors. Each unit in that property represents 1 door. So in the case of a triplex, we're talking about 3 doors, okay? Now, back to my real estate portfolio. A lot of you probably came to this channel through this video, where I share my story about how I purchased 17 properties in 3 months while I was working a full-time job. My motto at the time was to add more properties left and right. My belief was that if I had more properties, I will ultimately generate more income, until I didn't. So just to give you an idea about my growth as a real estate investor, first, there's my stage as a single person, then my stage as a married woman, and then as a mother, and then where I am today. I am a real estate investor, I am a business owner, I am a mom, and I'm also a wife. So now let's break down each of those stages. Let's start with when I was single. That's when I purchased the 17 property complex. During that time, I was going out with my now husband, Anthony Llanos, who's the co-founder of Rise. At the time, I had my full-time corporate job and I was working nights and weekends on my real estate portfolio and also building up Rise as a brand. I worked a lot of hours at the time, but in a way, it didn't feel like it. Time felt like it was infinite. I had a lot of energy, a lot of time to devote to my financial growth because I knew it will pay off for me one day. I didn't care about the amount of hours I was putting in, and I was having very little sleep. But again, I knew I was building something for my future, so I did not mind putting in the extra hours. During that time, I also purged a lot of friends out of the equation. You see, I have this thing that if you're in my life and you don't bring anything to the table, I'm okay with it. But if you're in my life and you want to take away from my life, I'm not okay with that. So when I was working towards my financial growth, I had a lot of naysayers, people who will complain about me not spending time in the friendship and saying that life is only one and that I should stop working because not everything in life is about money, not respecting the reasons why I was doing that. So in the end, I decided to walk away from those so-called friendships. At this stage, I already have 24 doors in my real estate portfolio. So everything was passive, but it wasn't really passive. And I want to use this time to break any misconceptions. A lot of people think, oh, my real estate portfolio is passive, and they believe that they don't have to do anything. But no type of investment is completely passive. Every investment, no matter how passive they promise you to be, requires some type of work or some type of attention from your end. In my case, for example, because I invested out of state, I had property managers helping me out. So even with a property manager, a lot of that decision making had to come through me. So let's say, for example, I had a tenant who decided not to renew their lease. That means that the property needs to get rent ready. That means the property requires a fresh coat of paint, changing some filters, replacing the water faucet, whatever is required to get the property rent ready for the next candidate. And depending on the property manager that you work with, some are very more hands-on than others. So for example, I have some property manager who already have their power team set up. All they did was to call the same people they work with all the time and they will send the bill. And my job was just to simply review it and approve it. But because I was new to this, I needed to do some research to make sure that whatever was on the bill was the right amount that I was being charged. But I also had some property managers who were more hands-off, meaning here's an issue, and it's your job to go and find out the vendors. So I had to find a plumber, I had to find a painter, I have to find a carpenter, and all of that requires time. So yeah, my rental portfolio was passive in a way because my property managers were there maintaining the relationships with my tenants and collecting rent. But in the end, there's still some components to it that require my attention. So it wasn't 100% passive. At the same time, I was very involved with the accounting. Yes, I had my accountants, but again, because of the size of my portfolio, I needed to stay in constant communication with my accountant, making sure that each of the expenses were recorded correctly. Something as simple like, is this purchase considered a deduction or is this purchase considered an asset that can be depreciated, changes the numbers on your accounting book and how everything is recorded. At the same time, part of my real estate portfolio was receiving rent from Section 8. For those who are brand new and don't know what that is, Section 8, it's a government program that provides renters with assistance. And that assistance will be based on the income that's generated per applicant or per family. One good thing about Section 8 is that Section 8 always pays. But because it's an assistance program, that means the other portion of the rent needed to be paid by the tenant. And the tenant didn't always pay it on time. So when that happened, my property manager needed to start a whole process and where they will send a reminder to the tenant that rent is due, then they will proceed with charging a late fee, and ultimately if they didn't pay, then the eviction process. Now, luckily, I didn't have many tenants that were taken to the eviction process, but it's just the whole dynamic of getting me involved and having those conversations that made it very time consuming for me. And things got even more time consuming when the pandemic hit because a lot of the families that were in the Section 8 programs, some of them did not qualify to work from home. So a lot of them got laid off. And that meant either they couldn't pay their rent or that they were spending more time at home, which lends itself to more wear and tear. And sometimes things will break. And when that happens, the tenant will file a complaint with Section 8, and then Section 8 will tell us, hey, if you don't fix this immediately, we won't pay you. So I was going to fix the property no matter what. But again, it was a hassle that I needed to deal with because now that I wasn't getting income from Section 8, I needed to figure out a way to pay for the repairs ahead of time without Section 8's income so that Section 8 can eventually come in, review the property, give me the approval, and then eventually collect the rent and all the back rent that was owed to me. So all of this was just on my investment portfolio. Add to that my corporate job and the nights and weekends that I was devoting to Novarize. It's a lot of hours. But again, I did not mind doing any of that because I knew I was working towards the growth of my financial future. Then comes the stage when I got married. And this year, I generated $99,055.53 with 24 doors. In terms of my job, at this point, I already replaced my job with my business and my rental income. So I kind of like freed up some time, and that free time got reinvested back into the business and into my rental portfolio. In terms of work, if anything, the workload increased because Novarize experienced a massive growth because of my reallocation of hours. And with that came a lot of demand for our services. But in the end, I did not care about the hours that I had to work because I knew I was working towards my financial future. Then enters the stage of motherhood. When we find out we were pregnant, that's when all the planning started and my priorities sort of shifted. I realized that if I wanted to be more present in our baby's life, that I would need to cut back on some hours. And the first thing that I noticed that was taking a lot of my time was my rental portfolio, the one with the 17 properties. So I decided to eliminate that from my portfolio. My idea was to reduce the number of properties that I had, but at the same time, I wanted to generate more income. So I put the properties up for sale and I did a 1031 exchange to defer taxes on the capital gains in the sale. And then with that money, I used it to buy new properties in Florida with silent impression homes. And in the end, I did accomplish my goal. I owned fewer properties and I was making more money than before because I changed the quality of the properties. I bought properties in a different area in a market that generated higher rents and with better quality tenants. In terms of Novarize, I was already pre-recording a lot of videos. In fact, I pre-recorded 3 months worth of content because I wanted to have uninterrupted time with my baby. And that's what I did because I wanted to completely disconnect from social media, from Novarize, from everything, and had uninterrupted time with my baby. And that's how it happened. When our daughter arrived, I was able to fully disconnect for 3 months while Anthony was holding down the fort and Novarize with the rest of our team. So during those 3 months, I didn't have to worry about receiving income to feed my family. This is the reason why I worked so hard in prior years. Those naysayer friends that ended up purging, they were wrong. They thought I wasn't enjoying life, but in fact, I was just preparing to better enjoy my life. There's nothing more precious than being present with your baby and watching them grow and turn into their own little person. And then there's the now. I continue to be a real estate investor. I'm a business owner. I'm a mom, and I'm also a wife. In this current stage, I grew my portfolio and I added one more property. So in 2025, we added one more property, the biggest acquisition that we have ever made, $2 million, to our rental portfolio. And that's door number 11. We decided to put our newer acquisition in Airbnb. For those who are brand new, Airbnb is a service that you utilize to put your property for short-term rentals, meaning rentals of 30 days or less. So in our case, we'll collect rentals per night's charge. So in 2025, our rental portfolio generated $203,310.48 with just 11 doors. And I'm using 2025 numbers because that's when I have a full year of data. 2026 is still happening, and I don't have enough information to see a whole trend for a year. But one thing I do know is that this number is going to be higher in 2026 because we managed to optimize our Airbnb. When we first started Airbnb in 2026, we had an occupancy rate of about 60%. Now it is sitting at 86%, meaning that out of 30 days out of a month, our Airbnb is rented for at least 26 nights. Not bad, right? Once again, less property, but more revenue. Do I work less now? Not necessarily. What happened was just a reshift of the hours that I worked. And that reshift happened on my terms, not on my boss's term, not on the company that hired me terms, on my terms. And my terms are, I need to be present for our daughter first, then for family, then for Novarize, and then for my investment. It used to be the other way around when I didn't have a kid. But now I get to spend my time on my own terms. I now have a luxury of enjoying my daughter without being in a rush. What do I mean by that? Well, for those who are parents, how many of you do things for your children as opposed to doing things with your children? Something as simple as doing laundry and folding the laundry. I know that if I still have my corporate job, I will most likely do everything in a rush. I will do the laundry for my daughter. I will fold the clothes for my daughter. I wouldn't get her engaged in anything because having her engaged will take longer, will take me more time. But now I actually can have fun with her doing the laundry. She's engaged in the activities and she can help me fold the clothes. Although sometimes she creates more of a mess than actually helping me, but it doesn't matter. It's the memories that I'm building with her and the fact that I can sit right next to her and teach her to be independent so that she doesn't have to rely on me so much when she's all grown up. If I still have my corporate job, I will most likely still be able to do that, but I will always be in a rush. I will always be thinking about, oh my God, I have to go to sleep. Oh my gosh, she has to go to sleep. Tomorrow I gotta wake up early. And I will always have that constant worrying in the back of my head. That's the flexibility that I get now because I chose to work on my financial future, now present, years ago. And those experiences with my daughter, those memories with my daughter, those are the reasons why I don't need to buy more properties now. I have enough to be content today. Sure, my priorities might shift in the future and I might want to add more properties in the future, but it will be something that I will worry about then. In the meantime, all I need is right here, right now, at my home with my family. Hope my story inspired you to pursue your dreams in real estate investing and investing in general. And if you haven't watched that video about the purchase of my 17 units, here's the video so you can take a look at it. See you in the next video. Bye-bye.